Hey everybody, welcome to what was it, the 240th CAF update. But the 250 number is just around the corner. A lot of milestones coming up around here too. I think we're nearing the 300th episode of whatever we want to call those extra shows are. But welcome. So like many of you probably heard that we lost the amazing Butch Guice earlier today, and I know just last week when we had Bob on, we were talking about hoping that he would recover from whatever ailment he had going on, but unfortunately, we no longer have Butch with us, and he left an incredible legacy on comics. I think probably I'd say more than half of you in the audience probably have artwork by Butch, whether he penciled it or he inked it, had a hand in it one way or another in your collections. And yeah, for a man who was only 63 years old, he certainly left us all too early. I never got the opportunity to meet him, but I'm sure many of you probably have seen him at shows before in the past. I didn't. I know he hasn't gone out to a lot of shows in the last few years, but yeah, so we get that down moment out of the way. I've been just looking at artwork on CAF for the last 15, 20 minutes by Guice, just remembering all the cool stuff that he's gotten to work on, a lot of cool Micronaut stuff. And yeah, so that's how it is. So I do have a link. I was going to throw it in the chat. So anybody who wants to check out some of them, like most commented and viewed artworks by Butch on CAF, there it is. It's in the chat. So you can follow up and check that out. Yeah. Geist worked with a lot of people. That's, obviously we talked about, with Bob before that. And you think about even Jurgens, who's going to be at OAX in 2026, did a lot of work with Geist over the years as well. But yeah, it is sad. But again, we have the art, right? And there's plenty of it on CAF. The link I put in there is will take you over to his profile on the website, and it links out to just lots of just great stuff. I mean, the Winter Soldier artwork is fantastic. I always forget about X-Men Micronauts. That was a fun read for those of you who were picking those up off the newsstands back in the day. That's in Steve Lawrence's CAF gallery. That guy has a lot of great artwork. But yeah, just looking at things through CAF, I was just pulling some pages out and setting them off to the side to look at later. But Andrew Allen, who collects a lot of Micronauts artwork, that was in his collection. So I could go on and on and on. But yeah, it's a sad day, but we have the art and plenty of it on CAF. I think when I checked, there was over 1,700 pieces of art by Guice on our website. Thanks to all you collectors who are putting it out there and sharing it with the rest of the world. So there you go. Yeah, Ram, lots of greats passing away, and it is. It's well, what are we gonna do as we kind of age through this whole thing? We're gonna lose a few here or there, but Geis was somebody we really did hope to get to OAX, and yeah, it just never really worked out in the first 2 years, and now that won't happen. We won't have that opportunity, but again, we can still appreciate everything that he got to do while he did it. So yeah, so we got Cyclops hanging out with us again tonight. I got to find a permanent place for him that is not on camera, but that's not going to happen today. Maureen said Cyclops is not allowed to be in the house, so I guess I left her. I left Cyclops kind of near the kitchen this morning, and when she walked out and it wasn't quite morning yet, she was not pleased to see Cyclops hanging out in the house with us. But that's all right. He can stay in here in the closet or something. We'll figure out a place for him. Yeah, he's not going in the bedroom, Marcus. Sorry, we don't need any witnesses for any of that. Yeah, that's true, Brian. He did a lot of cool work in that area as well, for sure. Resurrection Man was some of his best works, as Chuck White. I know, and as surprising as that is, we actually have the sales show with Joe Phillips on Saturday. We have. We actually have some pieces that Geis inked over Joe Phillips, the cover to issue 6, and at least 3 or 4 interiors from issue 6 as well. So yeah, anybody who's interested in that, I actually uploaded stuff from. I think some of those pieces are in my CAF. I only uploaded a few pieces as a preview for the sale this Saturday, but I don't see the tab for it. I had a bunch of tabs open earlier. I'll try to share that with everybody in a little bit, but yeah. So if you're interested in, oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, if you're interested in Geist's work over Joe Phillips on Resurrection Man, there is some of it available this weekend. There's a link in the chat. along with some Heretic covers and some other things from Joe. But yeah, that was yeah, that's good stuff. Anyway, so let's get this thing rolling. We got a lot of, well, I'd say we have a lot of stuff to cover, but at the same time, this could be a very short show. You just never know, right? Um, it is definitely. I don't have a lot of videos to show today, like last week, which is always a good thing. We finished at midnight last last time around. And Alberto, that is true. I've got two portfolios of that stuff here still. Uh, but big news everybody saw was the OAX announcement was this morning. So thank you to everybody who's picked up tickets. Plenty of VIP tickets sold today, and of course other weekend ones have sold. I've had a few people reach out who haven't who missed out on attending, who had tickets before that we'll be reassigning and things. So yeah, so things are out there. Lots of a great guest list already. If you take a look at it, Art Adams is on there. We got some returnees like Mannix and Jimmy, and plenty of others. But yeah, that latent thing will be coming up in a few weeks, I think, Marcus. But yeah, what's OAX? Everybody knows what it is. I don't need to go into it. I could put the link in the chat for everybody who actually doesn't know, but I'm sure everybody watching this show knows what it is. I'll put it in there anyway. But I did hear and that I was following some of the chat groups, and I saw some people saying they were having troubles with the Hilton booking link, and we're not very happy with the Hilton booking link either. I mean, it's whenever you have to think too hard about something, you know that it's not perfect, and the Hilton's booking system is a little funky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's a little weird, and other times you have to, yeah, you need a little manual to pull it out. So um, I could actually kind of share a screen to remind everybody how all that works just real quickly, because trust me, it always takes me a second when I'm looking at it as well to remind myself how to do it. But here, I'll just swing over and show that for everybody, especially if you're trying to get this done. And one of the things that, I know we've encouraged everyone in the past to do this, would say the same thing this year, is, you can cancel your reservations 72 hours up until the show. So it's actually a good idea to get your reservations in early. They don't require a deposit. And honestly, it just secures things for you and guarantees it. And if you end up not being able to attend, snowstorm in February, God only knows what it might be, you can still cancel 72 days or 72 days, 72 hours before the show and not pay a penny. But over on their website, let's see what it's going to do for me. Hey, all right. Uh, Today, half the time when I would land on this page, this book a room link was not there in Chrome. In Firefox and Safari, it was there just fine. But sometimes that button isn't there. And when it's not there, there's actually a link over here that gets you into the next page, which is the same one as this one here. So you click on that, and at least for the stay that I have, it looks like there's only queen rooms left. Earlier today, there were some king rooms available too. So I guess for this window of days, which they have set to as a default Thursday through Sunday for 3 nights, only 2 queen rooms are available any longer. So number one Marvel fan says he tried all day. You were the one I saw who commented, Tom. So that's why I figured I'd show this off. But it is kind of tricky. Like this is like your default that they set it to. So if you really want to stay Thursday through Monday, you have to click that edit stay link, then click the calendar, then reset your days and hit done, and then hit update. And then you now have your stays set to the right window. So I know somebody had mentioned that they booked like the wrong days and they were going to call them and fix them. And at any rate, it's, everybody, we would just like to see a calendar right there. Just click, 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 and boom, you're done. But Hilton complicates it just enough to make you scratch your head a little bit. But either way, there you go. That's how it's done. But only offered a queen to me earlier, got booked Safari and iPad, was fine. There you go, Ron. And Alberto's using points. He's he knows how to roll big, but yeah, that's true. I mean, there are different room types available based on how you're paying. If you're going to the booking link, there's different things reserved versus things you can get direct. But obviously, going through the booking link gets attributed to the show, and we always prefer you guys do that because, yeah, it makes the hotel know that we're delivering on our promises. But thank you, Tree. Correct. Congrats on that. Yeah, we were very happy. We had we had kind of a small list of some people who we were really hoping to have, and Art was definitely on that list. And couldn't have been happier. That was one of those major high five moments for the team when we got to hear that. And trust me, there's more to come. But we just needed to have a set of artists to announce with the launch today. But yeah, beyond that, everything else is pretty standard. We're still using the same system for tickets as we used last year. They're called Ticket Tailor, and it's very easy to use. Just click the buy tickets link, takes you over here. Gives you this. There's been some changes in programming. Friday event day is happening this year, where pretty much there's going to be things going on all day. We very much encourage everybody to come in Thursday evening if you want to get the whole fun experience of OAX. A lot of people have been wanting a little bit of an extra day in the show. So we have a Friday event day with lots of things going on. Some of it will be OAX really, sponsored. Other stuff will probably come from all of you. We had Will Be Fan do the bub crawl last year, right? So I would anticipate us having a lot of those things going on. We have a exclusive preview night that will happen on Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for VIP ticket holders only. I saw a few people lamenting that they would spend all their money on Friday before the show even gets started. And I, I practice moderation on your Fridays. Have a little fun. Maybe go to the park in the morning, come back, do some stuff at the show, get in your preview night, and then we have a reception, and then there's going to be a OAX sponsored get together after the reception too. So lots of stuff for us to announce and things, but I think we're delivering on stuff that we feel is right, and I think several of you have probably wanted, since we got started. So hey, it's an evolutionary process. And yeah, Art Adams, exactly. What is moderation? Carl, I know not many of us practice moderation with regards to our collections. I'm with you there. It's difficult to kind of rein in things that you're very passionate about, especially when there's just so much great artwork out there anymore. But I'm with you. It's tough, but you want to be able to have a good time and at least have some money in your wallet on Sunday. There's always something else to pick up by on the last day. You just never know, because you figure some of those collectors who are bringing portfolios with them to the show spend a lot of their money early on. I bet you they're looking to unload a few pieces on Sunday before they leave, or Saturday night in the bar, or whatever. So yeah, the whole commerce side of things flows in many different directions while you're at the show. Oh man, but so yeah, so there's that. And of course, anybody has any questions, please let us know. One thing that I know that we didn't do in years past was we do have artist, request to exhibit form on the site. Same thing with exhibitors. We're going to be announcing exhibitors, throughout the next several months. As you might have expected, we've already talked to a lot of people who want to come back. So there's just a lot of cool things going on. And yeah, and Matt and Carl, they have that bond in the chat that only two men who've been on a Triple X show together can have. And every time they see each other, everyone's heart just grows just one more size larger, knowing how much they truly care about one another. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Tom. Uh, but OAX is obviously is it almost 10 months away? It's a ways away. It's but right around the corner is Comic Art Live. We've got a lot of stuff going on there. I think there's always announcements going on. Last week we did the Wave 2 announcement for mystery sketch artists, and I don't know if we're going to be adding any new artists to that list, although there might be, I know I've emailed a couple people I haven't heard back from. You never know. We might be able to squeeze in a few extra people. But right now, I think we have around 70 artists who are participating in the mystery sketch. The Wave 1 purchases I already got out and assigned to all the artists who were part of the first wave. I am going to be sending out a Wave 2 of assignments tomorrow. And then we'll have 2 more weeks for mystery sketch sales in the lead up to the show. 295 days to, oh my God, it's under 300, Casper. It's time to panic. We need to have a counter, above each of our monitors to remind us how many days it is until OAX. Yeah, let's start signing up for pre-OAX commissions, Bill. Hey, trust me, Alberto. That's probably our next. There's so many things obviously we got going on, but But anyway, back to Comic Art Live. I can remind everybody because I still got a couple slides in there about Mystery Sketch. Mystery Sketch stuff is ongoing right now. We have the standard size that we've always had, 9 by 12, as everybody has seen in the past. A lot of times the artists, they say 9 by 12 be damned. I'm going 11 by 14, or you know what, I'm going to go really crazy and do 11 by 17. It happens. But 9 by 12 is this requested size we give to everybody. Those are $200 plus $25 shipping and handling in the U.S. I think the price was, I'm not sure. I think was it 50 international, or I can't recall now. I'm pretty sure it's, no, it's 60 because it's $260 for an international 9 by 12. We're going to take orders through noon on Saturday, May 17th. And new this time around are the sketch card tier. And we sold a lot of these. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to see how these all turn out. These are $60 plus $8 shipping and handling, and they're branded to Comic Art Live at the two 2025 shows. The one that's in May, and then again in November, the weekend of the 15th and 16th. So, yeah, we're pretty excited about all this, and I don't know what the counts are, but I know we've sold a really good amount of the sketch cards. I got all of the sketch cards mailed out by last Monday to either the artists or the reps who are doing them. So Jiggy got his in the mail, I think, yesterday. So it should be cool. Maybe we'll start getting to see a few artists working on our new stock. Chuck White says Dustin Weaver would be a great addition to CAF Live. To Exhibit, they could, hey, one thing I would just remind everybody, we're trying to, there's lots of ways to get the word out, but we really would like to get more artists participating. I know we've done a lot of outreach here at CAF HQ, but I would seriously encourage all of you. If you got artist friends that are familiar with CAF, or maybe a little, but don't have galleries, or they have galleries and they haven't exhibited before, talk to them. Explain to them that this is like the biggest, opportunity without leaving your home to reach an audience of art buyers, right? I mean, as artists, they can take commissions over the weekend. They can sell pre-done work, published work. The network that we have here at Comic Art Fans is huge, thanks to all of you collectors. And at the end of the day, you've got to reach that in its own way, exceeds our own. So, it doesn't even have to be for the May show, but remind them of that. We got the November show too, twice a year. And you just got to say 20,000 plus art collectors, descending on the virtual hall floors. I mean, I think if I went back and looked at Google Analytics, it probably was over 25,000 last year, or last November. So bottom line is, when you're talking with your artist friends, let them know. I mean, it's a great opportunity. You can give them our email address too. I'm happy to talk to any artists that might want to give it a try. My email is bill@comicartfans.com. So let them know that they can reach out. And if they're already on CAF, why aren't they, taking advantage of Comic Art Live? But yeah, I did see a few noteworthy artists have requested their booths already. So I think we probably will tease some of that stuff in the next few weeks in the lead up to the show. But yeah, please, we are legion, says Stingray. What did Mystery Sketch upgrade raffles this year? Yeah, actually there are. I'm not sharing that screen right now. That wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess. Let me hop over there. So what do we got? We got we have our own giveaway. We've got a piece of art from Bob Layton, Ben Templesmith, and Dan Brereton. Mr. Wayshak, the amazing John Wayshak. He is going to be doing a $200 level sketch card that is only going to cost $60. So the person who gets John as that assignment is going to be pretty freaking happy. And if you're familiar, well, many of you are familiar. I'd like to think everyone is familiar with John's work, but that's a great opportunity there. It might make me even want to buy a couple just to see if I couldn't get one done by John. And then Tatiana will be doing a randomly inserted sketch card into one of her mystery sketches. So currently we have 5 upgrades or giveaways, and we may add 1 or 2 other things to that. But one thing to remember too, if anybody who is picking the sketch card option will get a blank sketch card along with it. So you can take that to a show and have another sketch card done for you by an artist at a different show or whatever. That's kind of the kind of the approach to this. Obviously we've been promoting sketch cards a lot, trading card art, all that, all the things that kind of surround CACs and whatnot. But it's been a lot of fun, and I think that because they're affordable, they're heck, you can fit nine in a sleeve versus whatever. At the end of the day, it does. There's a lot of fun reasons to pick them up, and we here at my house, have talked with the girls where we're going to pick up some sketch cards this time around, and maybe two or three 9x12s versus our usual five 9x12s that we buy every time. At OAX this last year, Gwen and Emma, heck, even Ashton, they all picked up some free sketches on the Sunday during the show. So now they've got sketch cards in their collection and they want more. So we're gonna pick a few of those out ourselves this time. Let's see, take the blank Cal Scarge to OAX. Yeah, get a free sketch on Sunday. That's right. So, and it's amazing, we bought quite a few, and Kezra, I definitely mailed out so many that if I were to count them, I know I only have like a third of them left. So I know we'll be ordering more for the November show. So, so there's that. You never know. I mean, we had a lot of, a lot of reps and a few other artists that popped in at the last minute. So I was sending out 20 to this artist. I mailed out a big set to Hembeck, figuring that he'll probably be back in November as well. I had to send some to Brian Hitch, Caleb Addy, and some indie artists as well this past week. So yeah, lots of stuff floating around out there. And I haven't seen CJ tonight, but I do owe CJ some sketch cards still. It's on my list, CJ. If you're out there and you hear this, I did tell you I would send you some blanks that I have, some extra ones from I think OAX1. I've still got about 30 of those left. Anyway, so that's what's going on with Mystery Sketch right now. If I were to go look, I know that somebody on the team asked me to pull a list of booths that are out that have been assigned already. I know that we're over 100 booths already with just over 2 weeks out, which is pretty good. Um, I'm always surprised, or I shouldn't be surprised, but everybody knows that most of the artwork gets posted on the last. Mm, we'll say 48 hours of setup time, which of course ends on the 17th, right at 10 a.m. for everybody for the Saturday art drop. But either way, I think we're closing in on like 1,000 pieces of art uploaded from those 100+ exhibitors that are out there. We expect to we would expect to I see. Yeah, Kezra, that's a drunk 50th birthday sketch is wonderful. I think that's that's perfect. Modoc. Yes. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So those of you who have art for sale, if you've never participated as an exhibitor during Comic Art Live, you know how it goes. I think it's probably the single best opportunity for a collector to promote some artwork for sale. Some people use them as fishing expeditions a little bit, put a few pieces out there that maybe they're not really willing to let go of, but they put a price on it that is if you show me the money price, amount, they'll let it go. So there's always some fun stuff. You see some stuff that's overpriced that isn't going to sell, and then you see a lot of deals. I mean, I think last year I'd have to go back and look at the numbers, but I know we'd sold over 800 pieces out of the 7,000 that were posted, so better than 10% sell rate, and I think we passed $1.25 million in sales. So it's a great opportunity. There's no seller fees. There's no buyer's premiums. You only have to be a premium member of CAF, right? Easy, easy peasy. Most of you in the chat are. Bootlegging is going to be doing some fishing expeditions. All right, bootlegging. We got to talk, man. There's we were thinking about you the other day, and yeah, and we should set up a chat. I think with Kazra and I sometime. But yeah, so I'm prepping. I'm gonna probably I got a couple pieces in my collection that I'm not very attached to. So while I'll probably have my usual assortment of new Brian Hitch artwork to show off, I'll probably be dropping a few pieces from my collection as well, just to find out. if anybody's interested. Rugrat Spawn says, got my shop and sleigh fishing expedition booth ready. All right, I get it. I get it. Just don't price things at $1 million. I know it. It always, those are the things that raise the ire of many a collector you know when your fishing price is 10 times market. That's when you'll raise the you'll get the ire and criticism of your fellow collectors. Try to find a happy medium for that exorbitant price that you're looking for, and it's all good. People will take you seriously then. It is what it is. Yeah, well, Marcus, you've got a very nice piece of art. That's for sure. Um, Gil's interested in the Silvestri piece. Which one is that? I don't even know. Is there anyone on the chat who doesn't have their premium membership? Alberto, that's a good question. You are always trying to stir the pot around here, Alberto. Um, Dealer high is fine, Dan. Yeah, no, that's the way to do it. I mean, if there's one thing I've said, we can argue the merits of what we've learned from dueling dealers over the last 4 years, but knowing what a dealer markup is one thing that I think we've all learned. And I've learned a lot. I've learned how to haggle a little bit, even though I still don't do it. Uh, but certainly when it comes to pricing stuff, I mean, yeah, if something's should be $600 and dealer's got it at 8, you can talk them down to 575 if you ask just nicely. So. Oh, that's right. I did see your booth was all set up. So yeah, no, I think we have. When I looked earlier today, I think there's 6 or 7 people in Hall I for the indie hall, and I know there's at least 10 artists who are set up right now. And how many dealers and reps? At least 8 dealers have created their booths. I don't know how far they've gotten with all of that. But anyways, back. I don't need to show you guys this mystery sketch stuff anymore. I'll take that off camera. Uh, there you go, Black Viper Adorn. He don't care if it's high. He don't care what people thinks about it. That's okay. That is fine. Trust me. When people complain about high prices to me, I don't care either, because I'm not the one who priced it. I always say, talk to him, or talk to the hand, talk to the collector who put it up there. Yeah, and some only want 25, some want 50. But Dan Goodwin, yes, Dan's got himself a booth in our indie hall I, and I saw it there all set up and ready to go today. But yeah, it's always good to get started early, because the last thing you want to do is to have to scan 20, 30 pieces of art and price it and get it posted to your calf in a very short amount of time. And Dan, don't forget that since you're in Hall I, you can show off some of your books, which I have over here. Da-da-da. These are Mr. Goodwin's indie books right here. Lots of them. He stopped by to pick up some art from an art sale that we had a few weeks ago, and he gave me all the copies of his books. So thank you for that, Dan. I haven't gotten a chance to crack open them, as you can see, but I will. You saw how close they were to my desk. And let me turn my sound off over there. Anyway, so yes, there you go. Dan will be exhibiting at Comic Art Live in 2 weeks. So thank you. I paid a premium. I do. We've been letting the chicks out in the chicken run in the backyard the last 2 days. So they've had their first experience with walking in sand and some stubbly grass, because it hasn't rained here in so long. It's like the Sahara out in our backyard right now. But the chickens loved it. So that is a good thing. James Siegel says all of my art will be discounted 25% from his aspirational prices. That's not bad, James. That's good. Yeah, set up your booth, please. Get your yeah, do that. And remember, everybody, we offer this every single show, and almost nobody takes me up on it. We do those show tabs on Saturday and Sunday for Comic Art Live, and I send out emails in the last week, at least 3, where I request anybody who's got a booth to send me, like 4 or 5 sentences about what you're bringing, and and maybe your pricing, whatever, just stuff to to kind of tease the audience, and I send that out in a mailing. So, people should take advantage of that, especially because of the Sunday show tab. When people discount their Saturday stuff, I still ask for your announcements so I can push them out to the world for you. It's just another service we do here that uh, that should be utilized more if I'm going to put the time in to do it. So there we go. And we'll talk more about keywords and all that kind of stuff, next week and the week after that. But want list keywords for you premium members is obviously the way to start your day during Comic Art Live. And yeah, Marcus, that Batgirl was a thing of beauty. It really was. And I'm happy that Dan got her too. I might even get to see that one in person someday. So here I'm gonna set these books off to the side. There we go. But yeah, so outside of that, um, yeah, Comic Art Live less than 2 weeks, 2 weeks away. We get everything kicked off on Friday, the 16th, mostly with Jiggy's crew, but we hope to have a few other mystery sketch artists joining us that night. And it's always fun getting to hang out, kind of a relaxing moment before the storm, before everything gets a little crazy. Stingray says the app isn't letting me update my avatar. I don't know. That's weird. You'll have to shoot me an email, Newell. The V2, that is actually next on my list, believe it or not, after Comic Art Live was the app. Uh, we are pretty much like right there, really, really right there. I had some small formatting bugs for Andy that I sent him yesterday, and even a little bit even before that, and he was knocking them all out. We had a release to the beta testers on Tuesday, then we had an updated release to the beta testers on Wednesday. So we're really, really, really close to pushing V2 out, and V2's got the push notifications for all your emails. It's got push notifications when people leave comments on your art, and while Comic Art Live is not integrated into the app, the thing is if you remember a year ago in what was it, the May 2024 show, any emails that you get through Comic Art Live are integrated into calf mail now. So the very cool thing is that if you have an exhibitor booth and you're not at home, maybe you're at another show, maybe you're watching Thunderbolts at the movies or something. I don't know what you're doing, but the cool thing will be is that if you get emailed through your booth and you have the app on your phone, you will get a push notification that somebody made an inquiry to buy a piece of art or to make, I don't know, maybe they want to haggle. Bottom line is you'll get push notifications on your email communications related to Comic Art Live through the app. So that will be there, and so I would encourage every exhibitor, and I encourage all of you to get the app, and yeah, and that way you'll be able to at least engage with people while you're in the middle of the theater. Just turn your brightness down on your phone and close those deals. Dan, I'd like to hear that about the want list stuff. Any Cal panels to announce? Yeah, Kazra's got that. Full panel schedule will be out around a week out. Yeah, we don't want to. We know that in the past we've always kind of announced the panels a day or two in advance of Comic Art Live, and we're working on those right now. Like Kazra said, a week we should have all that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so the app should be out. I mean, if it's not out next week, I might there's something wrong. There's no reason for it not to be. We have uh, any of the things that we need to address related to the app are really pretty much out of Andy's hands and are sitting here right with Maureen and I right now with some of the email formatting things we want to make sure look great on the phone. We're working on right now. We just before the show started, Maureen and I were just reviewing some changes that we wanted to make to the emails that go out through Comic Art Live, so they look great on the phone too, through the app. Yeah, I'm gonna resign. But I might be a lot worse than that, Kazra. If it doesn't come out next week, yeah, I didn't want to say that I might be slitting something, but that's about what it feels like right now. But yeah, I did see one thing that a question that I shot to Andy about around 8 o'clock that I'll probably call him in the morning about. But as far as I'm concerned, Andy's done with V2, totally done. Anything else is just some stuff that Maureen can tackle on her own. There we go. Any Kelly Jones? I don't know. Kelly Jones is always around, Marcus. Uh, But yeah. So, but Newell, I don't know. Is it? You'd have to let me know. Is it airing? But shoot me an email. We don't need to bore everybody in the chat with whatever's wrong with your avatar. I mean, it could be a size issue on the image or something. But the only way to know is honestly, the only way to know is you send me what you're trying to change your avatar to, and I try to replace mine with it. And if I can do it, then we know that there isn't a problem with the app. And if I get the same error, then that's all great because then we can just backtrack from there. Yeah, exactly. And will somebody else say something? Because I don't want to keep reading Bill is resigning if it doesn't come out next week is the most recent comment in the chats. Shoot. Anyway, all right. So there you go. So Newell, shoot me an email and we'll get on that and we'll figure it out. Schedule wise, what do we got here on the schedule? I think I cleaned up the schedule from after our Tuesday meeting, but let me see here. I do still have that Club Lago slide to remind everybody about. Look at that Stephen David. He is such a happy man, you know, that and Josh and Mr. McDonald. I mean, we can't guarantee that Joseph Melchior will be there or Chris K or even Jeffrey Moy. But there is a get together the evening before Comic Art Live, May 16th, 5:30, Club Lago. Wonderful restaurant, great family environment, wonderful food, and again, if you're in the Chicagoland area, you should definitely go and hang out with the Chicago crew. Now, rest of the schedule. What do we got? See, I didn't upload the new one. I knew I made a new slide and I didn't upload it. Son of a B. I hate when I do work and then don't capitalize on it. I'm uploading the proper slide. There we go. Look at that. Joe Phillips, Saturday, 2 o'clock. And we have, I think, about 25 pieces of art, mostly from his heretic stuff. He did some specialty, kind of commission style pieces, all super affordable. And then, of course, we have some of the Resurrection Man stuff with Guice's inks on it. Then we'll have our second IC3 episode with Mr. Sardo. That will happen next Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Then I will have Jimmy Palmiotti on Tuesday night. Now, I did go back. I said good and bad girl art as a generic title when I put this together, but I went back and read what Jimmy wrote when he said what he wanted to talk about, and he said, "Bill, we're going to talk about sexy art." And so I didn't change it here, but when I wrote the intro that's up on YouTube, I did throw the word sexy in there because, sexy is a keyword that a lot of people subscribe to on for their eBay auctions. I know that for a fact. But yeah, so it's gonna be a good time. My pitch to Jimmy for a show was, Jimmy, let's not do an interview. Let's you pick 40 pieces out of your collection or whatever number you're comfortable with, and let's pick a theme. What theme do you want to do? And he said sexy. Right, and that was it. Not sexy, and sexy. So we're going down that path. It's going to be a good time. I would encourage everybody to hang out. We're gonna talk about a genre of art collecting that has not had a decent amount of time here on the Comic Art Live channel in the past. Then next Wednesday we've got Jordan versus Mr. Lovitz, 9 o'clock on an Amateur Dueling Dealers episode. I think I'm going to get their art this weekend, so it'll be cool to kind of preview what they're bringing. They're going to do 12 rounds, standard kind of pricing tiers for those 12 rounds. Then Mr. DeTulio's got a collector's cachet episode on Saturday the 10th, 2 o'clock. He'll have the Simones on with him talking about artwork that they collect. So yeah, that should be kind of interesting. And I don't know if they might be doodling a little bit while they're on there. So it'll be a fun show. That's for sure. Then I've got a Heritage Auction preview that will go on Monday. Another collector's cachet episode on the 13th. I know it's cash if Matt's in here. I'm just having fun. But this one will be he'll have his friend Otis with him, and they'll be going over some stuff related to posting his collection on CAF and setting up his Comic Art Live gallery. And yes, and that is that. Yeah, Rich, I hadn't even gotten to that one yet. But I got Chuck Costas. That's a big one. Chuck Costas on the 13th in the evening. We've already talked about that. We'll be talking about a little bit about the Zek exhibit. We showed video from that last week, and also how to insure your collection because he just went through the California fires and lost some artwork. So we're going to be talking to him about that. Then after Comic Art Live, that Monday after Comic Art Live, Michael Finn has Michael loves his very his vintage artwork from the golden age, and he has a lot of Frazetta strip work from comics, early comic stuff that much of it never saw publication. And working with Sarah Frazetta, he's put together what's I think is it's going to be a tome. He previewed it for Kazra and I back at OAX1, so he's been working on this for quite some time, and I've asked him for some information related to the publication dates, and he hasn't gotten back to me. I'll have to reach out to him again. But so Sarah will be joining us that evening along with Mark Schultz. Mark, I believe, wrote one of the introductions to he wrote the introduction to the book, or he one of the sections within it. But Schultz is going to be great to have on. I mean, I've honestly I've only seen interviews with him. I've never gotten a chance to talk with him at all in the past. So that's going to be a really fun show. Then Patrick Ohanic will have it back on, and what else we got? Then there's this another Frank Frazetta book that I believe came out a few months ago, but they finally have them in hand. I think it was kickstarted back in the fall, and it's Frazetta's horror work, and that one is being kind of pulled together in part by the Frazetta Museum up in PA. So uh, Frank's grandson, Frankie Jr., will be joining me on the 30th of June for that one. So they're about a month apart, but similar, but very the only similarity is that it's Frank Frazetta's artwork. You got horror on one side and uh, really really interesting, never before seen comic related work on the other. So it's cool. I think I mentioned it the other day. Just nice seeing Frazetta's work kind of recycling back out into the world and having him get appreciated all over again. Man, yeah. Where was all these Batgirl names the other night when we were doing the show? Cyclops did not approve of a lot of those names. We couldn't say some of those names live. They were rather revealing, but it was it was still a fun moment. Enter the Batgirl cave, Mr. Redjack. Yeah, you missed out. That would have been a good one. I don't think it would have won though. Um, Thank you, Noel. I will look into whatever you've emailed me after the show, and we'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll definitely get to the bottom of it. All right. So I did get something in the mail today. Nothing major, but I will open it up. This is something that came from the Schneider warehouse. So we'll see. I'm going to guess it's a comic book, but you never know. Sent priority. Oh boy. He this must be his gift. The gift that keeps on giving. Here, I would have thought he could have sent me some, OX stuff back, but what do we got here? He has sent me, his favorite sticker, the one that I think he fired his marketing person when he got these in. His keep clam and keep collecting stickers. This might be one of the last ones. I mean, shoot, he should have signed this one. I just swear. I'm sorry. He should have signed keep clam and keep collecting, and then I might have put it on something. But maybe I should do a giveaway. I think I'm gonna set this aside. What we're gonna do, I think, for the next month, what I'll do is I'm gonna put together a box of stuff like this, and it'll be a fun giveaway because I've already got a keep clam. It's very clammy. Exactly. I know. Like I say, I think he canned the girl who was his marketing girl like 4 or 5 years ago when he bought like 10,000 of those. And then what else is in here? He's got he's got some stickers, and he resent me some of Jeff Wedding's OA Expo poker chips. So there you go. These are all going to go into a box that we can do as you use for a giveaway, along with these stickers. So thank you for thinking of me, Anthony, and I do appreciate that. All right. So next up, Kevin Sharp sent me a note this morning that he had another interview all ready to go. It could have gone viral. I think it did go viral in all the wrong ways, James. But I got a page I love from Jason Aaron, writer Jason Aaron, the guy he's how many books a month does that guy write? I mean, it seems like there's 3 or 4 books every month that Jason's got his name on. And he even mentions at the end of this, he's writing a Thor versus Godzilla. Is that true? Because I haven't seen that one, and I actually did go to a comic book shop 3 weeks ago, somewhere around in there. It was after that. It was a couple weeks after that local show, Kazra. So yeah, I went to it, but I didn't see any Thor versus Godzilla books out there. But check out Bug Wars. He mentions Bug Wars in this too. So, anyways, let me go ahead and I'll fire this thing up. Jason Aaron, he's talking about a page from Watchmen, actually, that was semi-inspirational for him. But I think probably most creators could say that. But this is the first time we're having anybody talk about an Alan Moore, Dave Gibbons inspired piece. So here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of A Page I Love. This is Kevin Sharp. Today I'm joined by writer Jason Aaron. Jason, I believe this is your debut on the Comic Art Live channel, so I'll say welcome to the wild world of comic art collecting.
Thanks for having me.
So you've got some exciting projects going on, which we'll circle back to at the end. But in the meantime, you've chosen a book that amazingly has never been mentioned before. Will you cue the viewers up for what we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, I chose a page from Watchmen. I'm really surprised. I'm the first person to pick a Watchmen page. But yeah, my page is from issue 6, the Rorschach issue where he's in prison.
So let's start with Watchmen with you as a reader. Would you have been pulling Watchmen off the shelves as it's coming out, or how did you come to this book?
I did, yeah. I mean, the this was from my sweet spot when I was kind of first getting into comics in a big way. I can't remember. I did read it in single issues. I can't remember at what issue I started picking it up. It wasn't kind of when it debuted with issue 1. I think it was already in the midst of coming out before I got turned onto it and picked it up and went back and got all the issues. But yeah, I read it all in single issues, and then like it changed me. Like reading that book changed me in a huge way. As so much stuff I was reading in comics at that time was changing me. But Watchmen was huge importance, and I bought the that graffiti designs like slipcase hardcover. I bought the Dave Gibbons like portfolio that came out with the kind of prints of all the ads, and I had a Watchmen T-shirt. I don't know where happened in that thing. I wish I still had it. So yeah, I was all in on Watchmen after that.
How did you narrow down the issue and the page number we're going to be talking about?
Well, yeah, that was hard. Once I kind of went back. I thought about a lot of different pages from different books that again I plucked off the spinner rack. Some Jose Luis Garcia Lopez from Atari Force was of huge importance to me. Wendy Penny and Elf Quest, and there's a lot of books that picked up that sparked my brain, that changed my life, that made me be a lifelong comic book fan, that made me pretty quickly figure out, oh, I want to do this someday. But I think none of those had as big an influence probably as Watchmen. But yeah, then once I realized, okay, I'm gonna pick a Watchmen page. Well, which page is that? Like that could be any of a number of pages that. But I think this issue to me is one that sticks out. I think everybody remembers that the whole Rorschach in prison issue, and it's also kind of Rorschach's origin, and that character, and in particular this issue had such a tremendous impact, not just on young me, but on comics, period, right? In ways I think we're still grappling with and struggling with in some ways to really see what Alan Moore was trying to tell us back in those days. I think this is, this character and this kind of what he came to represent has been so wildly sort of misinterpreted and abused in so many different ways. Like this sparked kind of so many dark and gritty vigilante stories, in the 80s and I read the shit out of so many of those. And I've certainly done my share of those myself, but I think, none of that really gets to what this character was really about and what Alan Moore was trying to say.
What jumps out at you looking at this now versus when you were a fan? Now as a pro with, many, many pages under your belt.
I mean, as a pro, I have certainly not written too many 9-panel grids. You know, anytime I've done it very intentionally. I mean, I've actually written a direct riff on this page and this scene in an issue of Wolverine and the X-Men, which was the origin story of Warbird, who is a Shi'ar character that we introduced in that series. I mean, another reason this book is so hugely important to me is when, you know, just reading the comic as it came out kind of blew my mind of you could do these kinds of stories with superheroes. And then when I bought that Graffiti Designs hardcover, the slipcase, it had Alan Moore's script in the back of it for issue one. So that was the first comic script I had ever seen in my young life. Now, some of that was, you know, gave me a warped perception of what a comic book script looks like, and that nobody really writes comic book scripts like Alan Moore, and they're so incredibly long. I mean, I think some of us could maybe do a bit more of that, and that he does such a great job of writing what's basically, I mean, the script is a letter to the artist, right? For this issue starts with this very first page in the beginning of this interview, you know, when Rorschach's in prison and doing the Rorschach tests. And I love the Alan Moore narrations that you get throughout Watchmen by different characters. I think that's imprinted on me a huge way. I still love writing first person narration. It's such a great way to get inside the head of a character, especially when it's in ways that are different from what you're actually seeing on the page. My other favorite bit of this, I mean, the use of repetition throughout this issue, these images, the use of the Rorschach images, and then what they spark in Kovac's mind, and the moments of I love moments of characters lying on page, which I think you know we with comics so many times people kind of come to accept whatever they see, whatever a character says as like it's some kind of gospel, you know, like everything is a definitive statement, and that's obviously not how life works. That's not how people work. So I love it moments where especially with this, where we see, you know, we see the image, we see the dead dog, we see what is in his mind, and then, you know, he says a pretty butterfly. Like, I love those kind of moments. Of course, later we get to the point where he admits, you know, that is not what I see. You know, I see this dog.
Do you happen to own any Dave Gibbons original art?
I do not. I mean, I wish I did. The closest I come is having. I still got that portfolio set. Wish I mean, I think before Watchmen, I had read Dave Gibbons' Green Lantern stuff and really loved it. And of course, after this, I loved the Martha Washington books he did with Frank Miller.
Why don't we switch over to what you have going on? We talked to Mahmoud about Bug Wars recently, so please fill us in on anything you've got coming out or out now at the time of this video.
Yeah, I am. You know, I've been busy these last couple of years doing a lot of new things. Kind of working for most every company in comics, it seems like. So at the moment, I'm still doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for IDW. I'm doing Absolute Superman for DC, which I will, in terms of Superman, continue to be on as far as I'm concerned for the foreseeable future for a nice long run. Bug Wars just started from Image Comics, which is the book that Mahmoud and I are doing. We've been working on for years now. The response to that has been really great. So I think with the point when this interview comes out, I think we'll be up to issue 3, and issue 4 probably coming out soon. Other than that, I think I've got Godzilla versus Thor coming out sometime this summer, June maybe, which was a huge thrill. It sort of takes. I've tried to. I very intentionally wanted to downplay what happens in it, so the solicits, you know, are just kind of, it's just Godzilla versus Thor. That's sort of all you need to know. But it's, if you know your Godzilla, this is the Godzilla from Giant Monsters All Out Attack, who's sort of one of the darker, more evil versions of Godzilla, and really powerful too. But there's stuff in this book that connects directly to my run on Thor. And there's also some elements from my most recent Punisher series and that the hand is involved. So it's super excited. That was a blast to write. I'm a huge Godzilla nerd, so I loved writing that, and Aaron Cooters is drawing the crap out of that.
Well, thank you again for joining us, Jason, and obviously picking a let's say iconic, legendary comic to talk about.
Cheers. Thank you.
Man, Snork just ruined my freaking joke. I was going to say, and now, surprise, surprise, Jason Aaron
Hey, I just wanted
joins
to
us.
talk some more about Watchmen. Really good book. I think everybody should read it.
Oh shoot, man.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. Almost 50. There we go. I'm kind of angry. Catcher had such a good idea that you need to draw on a sketch card the night of your party.
Done. Happy to do it.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, I'll ask for it when you turn 60. All
There
right.
you go. It's good to have a job when you're hammered.
Exactly.
Keeps that.
Right. And I'm gonna have that. It's a debatable. Either going with the porter, or I'm going for the what was it, the
barley
Czech,
wine?
the Czech. I want to try that one.
Okay. Yeah.
It was the dark lager.
Yep.
I'm kind of in the mood for something. Yeah, either one of those. That's why the porter might be good. But
All
peanut
right.
butter, I think that's like an afternoon beer. I think.
Yeah.
James Siegel says, "What's a page you love, Chris?"
I love all pages, James. That's not
Yeah.
true.
No, it's not.
Pages I love later.
Yeah. Yes. All right. But hey, I'm actually going to be going to I keep forgetting about this. On Monday, I'm going to that new Universal Park, Epic
Oh.
Universe. Yeah, they got like a preview before the whole thing opens up. So,
Cool.
they're still inviting like 10,000 people, and
Wow.
I still had to pay, but they were like, if you're an
Open.
annual pass holder, you can go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's Cinco de Mayo. It's
Hell yeah.
Cinco de Mayo. If you were here, I'd be taking you.
I'll be drunk at a Mexican restaurant, rest assured.
That's probably true. The thing is, they have a whole famous monsters area, and they actually have like a garlic pretzel that you can, that's in the shape of a digger, and you can dip. It's got like marinara sauce. You can dip it in and stuff. I mean, I'm getting, there's a meme in there, and I might film it in front of everybody.
When food meets marketing.
Exactly. Oh man, but so how you been? I mean, it's only been a week, but
Good.
anything new, exciting?
Last week I got a couple pages
that you've already have you cracked into them already?
I opened one. I saved one for tonight. So,
right. So we get it. We're gonna do an unboxing right here.
Right one is not unboxed, but this is like a calf preview. So I bought this. There we go. This Steve Rude. This is an entire story. So I can now say I'm a complete story owner. But this is I won this off Heritage a couple weeks ago, and I am in love with it.
That is great.
Yeah.
So you say you wanted a Heritage. Did you like go all in, or did you put one? Did you get lucky and you put a bid that was a little bit lower than you? No, you were all in.
I was right there. I was like,
I get it.
Yeah. And I do have an unboxing. So I think TAMD1 is in the chat.
I saw TAMD1 in the chat.
I did something that I told myself I will never do, which is when I was doing picks last week, I told myself that if I'm going to do picks every week, I can't buy stuff. Because if I did, I'd buy something every week. And I'm not Jason D'Ambrosio or James Siegel, so I can't do that. So,
well, I hear they trade a lot, so the word buy isn't always like accurate, but I hear you. Those guys are always on a tear. Look at the professor. He's got, the guy's amazing. There he is. I say his name, and you see that?
That packing was insane. Let me
Well, Tariq is here. We're all curious. I'm going to switch full screen here for you.
So I got something that I've wanted for a very long time, which is a page. Well, it's actually 2 pages. So James will appreciate this. It's a DPS. And please excuse the size of my knife. My box cutter went AWOL. So I'm using my pocket knife. But I wanted a page from this for a really long time because I love Guy March and I love Grifter. And Tariq happened to be wanting to part with one. Well, 2, like I said. So I'm mauling this a little bit.
That's okay. Yeah, you know what I go through. It's tough
Yeah.
if you don't do a lot of pre-cutting.
I wasn't expecting Fort Knox, Tariq. Not that I'm ungrateful. It got here. So here we go. And it's in a Mylar.
Those aren't cheap.
I hoard these things, man. If somebody is nice enough to send me art in a Mylar, I'm sending someone else art in a Mylar.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I've gotten a lot of art in Mylars, and I'm just stockpiling them. I don't know if I'm going to use them.
This thing it's better in person.
Oh wow, man, that's gorgeous.
So Batman's doing his best Morpheus right here, which I love. And then where do I go? There we go. Grifter has the good sense to pull a Derringer on him in the last panel, which I absolutely love. So yeah. That's what I got. Thanks, TAMD1. It's beautiful.
Wow. Tom says, bring it to Chicago, huh? Are you going to the Chicago get-together?
I'm planning on it.
Oh, great.
Look at that Grifter.
I know that first panel gets me, man.
Look at Batman.
Yeah.
Look at Batman's eyes. He's like, don't shoot me in the head. Third time the night. All right.
Wow, Chris, that's great.
Thanks.
Oh, that's awesome. Shoot. You need to start buying more art. So like maybe every other week we'll do an unboxing on the show.
Tell my wife.
Oh man. Well,
James, I did not get the Kegel. I couldn't buy it again.
What did it go for?
It went for a little over what I paid for it, but not by a lot.
Okay.
So yeah. I'm hoping it shows up on CAF. I'd like to at least, see it.
Mm-hmm. I forgot all about that.
Bring it to OAX.
Yeah. That was a nice artwork though. Yeah. I know. I get it. When something like that happens, it's hard to want to like put it back.
Well, and like I can't pay $8,000 for it.
Talk to your wife.
I couldn't live with that.
Yeah.
I bought this twice.
Yeah. I understand.
Well, you're familiar with buying art twice, though. I like that about you.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind adding a few other pieces back to my collection. Did you see all the cool X-Men art I was posting to CAF this last week? It was, obviously
like it's madman.
I'm posting it twice, but because I had to repost it, but I wanted to test out all the push notification stuff. So I'm like, all right, now's the time to put stuff up there that I know people will be commenting on. So
you're doing double duty.
Yeah. So it was a lot of testing. I still got some more stuff I want to upload, but you didn't pick any of my artwork, so I'm really disappointed.
Can you imagine the chat? I think I've done it a couple times.
You have, but no, that's okay. I would have said nope, gotta take it out.
Don't.
But it was fun seeing those pieces up there again. Definitely.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I actually went through your CAF a little bit, and that's a fact. You'll find out if you come up on the 31st, James, how much beer $8,000 can buy.
Yeah.
I was going through your CAF. I forgot so much of the stuff you have. I was like, ooh. So that was cool.
Yeah. Well, me too. That's the sad thing. As collectors, we always should remind ourselves to look at what we have in our collections.
I swear to God, I do it very regularly.
Do you? I have been so bad at it. I mean, the last 4 years, and I forget some of the stuff I have. It was like I went through that X-Men portfolio, and I was like, I forgot I had that. And I forgot I had that one, and it's like, son of a gun. Yeah, you got to look at your art, or it's wasting away.
Yep.
And I tell you, it's
just a page in a book.
Yep. Oh man, but Well, let's get this thing going on. I mean, I don't think I've got any other interesting things to talk about, so we can dive into the calf update stuff. I do have a video from Nick without music, believe it or not. His guy is not in town this week, so we get it sans the fun, funky
Yeah.
intro and outro. I thought about adding something myself,
Hum
but
it.
I didn't want to step on anybody's toes.
We all know it by heart. Let's hum it.
Oh man. All right, let's see here. Let me get into I hate to say it. Heritage was a tough week for me. This was one where I was going through it and I went through the list a couple times and it was so busy today anyway with all the varying things going on, with Cal and OAX and everything else. But there really was a lot of great stuff that I found this week. But this one, I wasn't going to pick it, but there's a lot of attention on it. It has a lot of people following it. It's this 1951 page by I'm not even sure who the artist is. Bernard Bailey, maybe. So I was like, all right, well, clearly there's, and it's almost at $1,000. So it's like, how often do you see a page from 51? So I don't know what anything about it, but clearly it has some level of importance to somebody. It's called let me see this. Oh, it's from a book called "This Magazine Is Haunted" from Fawcett, 1951. I do like that last panel though.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about it, but it's like
It
Noah's
reminds
Ark.
me of the Villagers and Hot Fuzz.
That's true, doesn't it? Yeah, that was a good movie.
That first panel, especially.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so there you go. I don't know anything about it, but it made me think I should know something about it for it to be where it was like the third highest bid item on the auction. Then we have an X Factor page from the Extinction Agenda. This is by Bogdanov and Milgram. So just I figure I know we've got the X-Men fans out there in the audience, so I'm sure James has probably already seen it and contemplated it. Like there's Cable in there. He's looking really tough.
Yeah,
but I did not read this one off the shelves, as everybody knows. I picked it up, from the bins afterwards. So anyway, I kind of like the lighting on here. Honestly, it's very kind of Steranko-y weird stuff going on there. But either way, there you go. X-Men fans for that one. Ben Templesmith, always loved Ben's stuff. I had no idea that Ben worked on a Batman, Superman Authority special book, so I don't know what these images are, but I just love Ben's stuff, and the idea that he did a book in this area was just surprising. I was like, all right.
I'm not familiar with it either.
Nope. But yeah, it was called Authority Special, issue 1, page 15. Then this one, Man Bat, I never read it, but just looking at it at this level, right? I thought these 2 pages together with the compositions and the rich blacks, they just look so damn cool without being able to even tell what's going on them. So before I even clicked on it, I was like, I just think that's really cool. And the idea that you get to own consecutive pages to this. I mean, now that I'm looking, I looked at it, but I didn't look at this closely. It is pretty damn good. I'm not Flint Henry. Tell me, who's Flint Henry?
I mean, he has worked for DC quite a bit, but
Okay.
I'm more excited about Eduardo Barreto.
Right, Barreto inks on it, but Flint Henry I was not familiar with, but again, look at this. This stuff is great, and it's only at $1. Everybody, it's only at $1. Somebody out there should get this thing up to at least $2 before we close out the Heritage.
That would be the Cox effect. It would double.
Exactly, the mega Cox effect, I think. But anyways, I just thought it was just really cool. Just when I looked at it like that, I'm like, the composition is so interesting, and I love the blacks in it. So cool. And then this one, David Finch. This is just an easy kind of pick. I mean, everybody wants a Finch in their collection, but how many people have a painted Finch Batman? I thought that was awesome.
When I saw this, I can't remember where I saw it, but I really love that he managed to put that highlighted edge on the bat symbol. Just to pot. It's like a teeny bit 3D.
I didn't notice that, but yeah, no, that's awesome.
Just a nice little effect.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Grimjack artist, really? Flint Henry was a Grimjack artist. I didn't know that. There was actually a couple Tim Truman pieces in the auction. One that's probably going to be like the cheapest Tim Truman piece ever. It's like some weird like space. It's just outer space and a swoosh on it.
Yeah.
But I was going to bid on it, and now I'm not because I told you guys about it. But
You have a couple pages in your collection like that.
I do. But there was a couple other there's at least one other Truman piece in there that was pretty nice. Really nice rude Nexus. I didn't pick it. I'm trying to pick stuff that I haven't picked before. But then I thought, all right, Jim Lee. See, I had to reach for stuff here. We got a Jim Lee con sketch from Paris
with European flair.
Yes, exactly. From Zealot, Wildcats. I know this is up somebody's market for sure.
Dave Kopecki.
Where? Yeah, Dave. Yeah.
96. Wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Then, this is a good one. I shouldn't have shown this one. It's Irv Novick and Dick Giordano, Batman 242 page. Look at this one. I mean, this is such a good page.
Giordano is awesome, man. I'm telling you, like, I used to absolutely worship that guy.
Yeah. I'll see this one's already at 350. So I don't know the market on these, but boy, oh boy, good stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on my watch list so that I can get a text from Heritage.
Batman on swinging on the bat line in like 2 panels.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's fantastic. Tony Harris. I thought you might like this one. This is Doctor Strange page.
I remember this book vividly.
Yeah, I love the panel work is great. I just love the background pattern in there.
Yeah, he still had some Starman in him at that point.
Yeah, I love this. That is so nice.
His stuff, like, it's funny, but you'll see, like, so the cape in the 4th panel, like, you get a pop of like P. Craig Russell in his stuff from time to time.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one.
The like puddle in the bottom panel, like on his cape, that's P. Craig Russell all the way.
Right. Yeah. Unmistakable. What did I pick next? Yeah, this was some heavy metal prelims from John Bolton. So for you guys who like process stuff, I thought, hey, Bolton stuff is, there's not a lot of it out there on the market too often. So I thought it was kind of cool. They should have thrown maybe an image of the finished cover in here, I guess. But either way,
some of those are pretty tight.
Yeah. No, I thought it was kind of, he draws the female figure here really tight and then the background's loose. And then he takes, this group of characters that were over here and then he draws a separate drawing, with them in more detail. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a very expensive piece at the end of the day, but
cool.
Hey, it is cool. And then Terry Moore. I like Terry Moore's stuff a lot. And Rachel Rising was a good story. And I just thought this was a very nice page. Look at that. So there you go.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Great facial expressions. I like the inconsistency / consistency of the backgrounds.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all completely random, right? But it's the same, they're all different patterns, but it's the same background. That's pretty cool. It's a fun device.
I agree. Bill questions Bolton's process. Marcus, come on, man. That's what prelims are for. You get to look at them, and you sometimes you're questioning the editorial's thoughts going into it. Why did that cover prelim work versus this one? Blah blah blah. So
that's one of the most things about the most fun things about doing this for me is sometimes when I'm like, and then I'm like, who am I to question John Bolton's process, right?
Right, exactly. Fun. But I don't know. Hey, it's what we do. It's what we do. Do you own any? I have to ask. Do you own any Butch Guice artwork or anything that he either inked or penciled?
I have something that he inked, yeah, and my brother has a cat page that he inked.
Sweet.
Yeah, but
I was looking.
Wish so badly. God, do I wish I would have commissioned him like a year or 2 years ago. Man alive, because that's the stuff he was doing. I mean, we've talked about it before. That stuff that was popping up on CAF that was like very recent. It was mind blowing.
Right. I know you like that Winter Soldier piece, right? That
Oh,
was one of the picks. And then I saw it
Dave
on
Carlin,
the,
right?
yeah, Dave Carlin worked with him. Yeah. He,
Yeah.
for a long, 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 long time. Um, yeah. I mean, and, no, I love his stuff. And I got that one heavy metal Tarna page from Rick W. that I don't have in my calf. I was like, I went to look for it. I'm like, oh, I want to see that again. I'm like, I don't have it in my calf. Shoot.
Oh,
Oh, which portfolio it's in.
perfect timing then.
I'm going to scan that one and get it up
Oh,
there
wow.
tomorrow.
We were just talking about him because of Alberto's Hitch cover the other day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. And remember, I told you I sent that page back to Hitch that he wanted, that one that, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Well,
I
now
feel
he
even
had
better now that I sent it back to
thrilled
him.
to have it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if
Absolutely.
everybody remembers, Hitch, I had Hitch on for a sale show, and we had two pieces of art from Cap Reborn. They were DPSs, and one had a really awesome image of Thor, had just like swung the hammer down, and it had Iron Man on it, and they were kind of in outer space. And Hitch said that when he got the art back from Butch, Butch said that that page, that drawing of Thor, was like his favorite drawing he had ever worked on for Thor. And when Hitch said that during the show, and after the show was over, he's like, could I have that one? It didn't sell. So he said, could you send that one back to me? And I'm like, it's your art, dude. you got it. And because honestly, I was thinking of buying it myself because it was that good. But
Right.
I'm really happy that it went back to him, because that's he clearly fondly looks back at that Cap Reborn work as some
Yeah.
of working with Guice was really fun for him. Enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. Okay, so now we can show that Nick Brucci clip without any music, and he does have a show tomorrow. I think he's doing something Thunderbolts related, so there's a theme, I believe, for his show, but we'll find out more in a second.
Everybody, this Friday, May 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the Original Art Experience. I was going to say May the 2nd be with you, but it was so cheesy I decided not to, but I guess saying that I was going to say it, but not saying it is still saying it. Oh, well. We've got a couple of themes here. It's going to be fun. Thunderbolts hits this weekend. I'm hearing great things about it. But between now and then, let's talk about, hey, remember the guy who created the Sentry, Jay Lee? Well, guess what? He's done some covers for us. This is mostly the Dynamite comics art, but you'll see the one deviation. But anyway, Jay Lee, creator of the Sentry. Check it out. Demona #2. Thundercats 16. That's a great cover. Silverhawks #6. Space Ghost Annual. Check out the fight there. All right. Then we've got Gold Key #1 by Phil Hester. Then we have the Aaron Campbell Green Hornet Year 1, and Aaron is just blowing up as a hot artist now. Then we have Batman vs. Shadow. That would have been nicer if I took a page with the shadow on it, but we've got Ra's al Ghul, so that's cool. Giovanni Timpano. Then we have Matt Wagner. This is Trinity, no Dynamite, but I thought, Ra's al Ghul, nice little mix. Matt Wagner Trinity is beautiful. Silverhawks #6. Thundercats #17. I think I got that right. Speaking of Thunderbolts, no Sentry, but we got Thunderbolts 29, page 22, 41, page 4. Really old school Thunderbolts, 29, page 2. Maybe I should put the 29s in the 2s. Never mind. Then we have Thunderbolts 28, page 3. Then we have Majestic #4 cover by Ed McGuinness. By the way, this is all OG Mark Bagley. I should be bringing that up. Then we got Gene Colan, Captain America, probably one of my only Gene Colan Captain America pages. Then we have Michael Netzer, Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. And I committed to this a while ago, so I'll have one or two of these. Complete Spawn issue by Brett Booth, and you can check it out. Look at this. The entire book will be at an incredibly affordable price for a complete book, because, again, check out the splash page. I will probably offer this at less than the value of the splash pages. So I'm going to take probably a little bit of a loss on this, and I committed to a few of these, so I'll probably have 2 of them on the air. But man, is this Brett Booth art great? I might bring other Brett Booth art back on the air just as a one more time, you know. But check out that splash with Spawn. It is gorgeous. So, hey, by the way, did you hit the thumbs up? Did you share? Sharing is caring. So this Friday, May 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the original art experience. Hit that thumbs up. Share. Sharing is caring. Let a friend know. Going to have a great deal on this Brett Booth art. Oh, and we're going to give away more art. Last weekend, we gave away $3,000 worth of art. This week, probably giving away maybe as much as $1,000 more. We're going to be spreading this out leading to my birthday. So Friday, May 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Look forward to be seeing then. Take care, everybody.
Okay, there we go.
Giving away art. Go, Nick.
Yeah, boy, he's feeling generous on his birthday.
I'm buying art for my birthday for myself.
You should. I mean, yeah, why not, right? It's yeah. I would not discourage you from doing that.
I know you of all people would not.
Oh man. All right. So calf update time. Then we can do some picks. I was reading something while that thing was going on. I totally slipped my mind what I was going to say, but a whole bunch of people bought tickets when we were talking about OAX. So thank you everybody for doing that. I should.
I started texting people immediately after the email came out. I was like, check your email. Check your email.
Good, please. Yes, we need the community needs to rally around the show. It's true.
I saw Matteo Scalera, which was I was coming anyway, but that was the only thing I needed to see. And then on top of it, Chiarello and Art Adams. My God, Jason's firing on all 8 cylinders at OAX this year.
Yeah, we were. I know your love. You've always mentioned Matteo for the last 2 years, and then when I knew that he was coming, it was difficult to not tell you. But there was I do keep everything a secret around here. I would never, even you, Chris. I had to keep that one from you. But I knew
it was really almost worth not knowing to be able to see it on the email. That's how excited I was.
Well, cool. That should have been we should have had people recording themselves when they read it. Because you would have been a good one.
Oh, I was
that would have been something we could have used to promote the show. This is the reaction you'll get when you know the artists who are coming to OAX.
You want to see a giddy 50-year-old man? Yeah.
We might ask you to recreate that moment, Chris. I'm just saying it could happen. We're doing a lot more marketing out there. We may want that. Is Joyce coming? I actually don't think I don't know how they know that far out, but from what I heard, I mean, she wasn't uninvited at all. I mean, we wanted to, it was just, I don't think she's available that weekend. Might be something to do with her kid. I'm not sure. At least that was what I heard a couple weeks ago. So maybe Joyce, but right now Joyce isn't on the list because that's what we were told. There you go. Casper confirmed it. Joyce is not coming. All right. Now we just need John Byrne. Tom, I've asked every year. I've gone to Mr. Warden and I've just said, what do you think? At least for years 1 and 2. And Jim turned me down. I haven't done it for year 3 yet. I can ask. You never know.
You don't ask for.
I mean, come on, the man collects art. Just come to the show. I don't want, he's a guy, he doesn't have to do anything. Yeah. He just needs to come to the show. I mean, just having his presence in the room would be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, have I ever seen him? I think I've seen him I saw him at a Mid-Ohio show when I was 18 years old.
Yep.
And then I saw him that infamous, last time he was really out anywhere at New York Comic Con. I remember seeing him at the booth from afar. And I wasn't going to wait in the line, but I knew he was going to be there. So I thought, if the line's short, I'll go say it. And no, giant line. And that was the one where he just got so fed up. I think that was the last show he ever did.
I saw him right around that time in Chicago, and he and Michael Golden were yelling at each other across the aisle. And people were like,
pleasantly?
No.
No. Well, Michael likes to, throw it down. I mean, we've heard Ken lived to tell the tale after he got one between the eyes. But anyway, But yes, John Byrne should know he has a standing invitation to come to OAX whenever he likes.
Chuck Arnold will carry him around if that's what he wants.
That's
Like
true.
he'll like cradle him.
He would.
Yes.
He really would.
100%.
Yeah, and there's a lot of creators like that, right? I mean, it's tough, But what are you gonna do? When they're done, they're done. I mean, Butch Guice. I mean, he wasn't unhealthy the first 2 years. He just was done with shows. It's like with Paul Smith.
Yeah,
I'd kill to have Paul Smith at the
Zach.
show, But yeah, Zach, exactly. I mean, come on, he looks happy and healthy. Why not, man? Come back to Florida for a couple weeks. But yeah, it doesn't want to. So, oh well. Abby says I'd have to dial him. All right. Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, let's get into the CAF update here. We can talk about what happened. What was it? The week of April 21st through the 27th. Average week for dealers, 220,000 in sales, 188 the week before. Felix, of course, had a big week. He sold 52 items, $148,000 in sales. I think it was $90,000 on one complete issue by Daniel Warren Johnson that we will see. It was Wolverine issue 400, right?
Mhm.
Is that what it was?
Yep, his 10-pager.
Yep, 90
I think went to
grand.
David Cho.
Did it?
I think. I don't know.
It would make sense. I know he likes Wolverine.
He was
so-
also like going over the art like with his hands on Instagram. I was like, oh, I bet I know who's buying that.
Oh man. Well, then after Felix and his $148,000, Anthony came in second with 24,000. Mike with almost 24,000 as well, and then Albert only had 8,700. Boy, I mean, they're eating spaghetti at the Moy after last week. I don't know what he's doing. Felix got fillets. Albert's got pasta and meatballs.
Mhm.
So, all right. So let's see. Take a look at the top 6 sales from dealers last week. So this is the image from the Daniel Warren Johnson Wolverine 400. Went for 90 grand. Not too bad. I like it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, doggone.
Stark.
I like the way he did the claws there. Then what do we got next? Ryan Otley. This was Invincible Library 5 slipcase cover sold for $10,000 by Felix as well. Then we have another slipcase cover. This one went for $10,000 as well. This was the last one was from slipcase 5, and this is slipcase 6. Then we have something from Anthony. What is this? A DC Comics Presents 53 cover. Superman in the House of Mystery from 1983. Went for $7,500. It's Joe Orlando and Ross Andrew and Joe Orlando. There we go. And then Frank Brunner and Ernie Channing's Marvel Premiere 9 from 1973. $7,000. Another one from Anthony.
Nice page.
Where's Anthony getting this good art? Then exactly. Then Mike sold this one, Star Wars 10, page by Chaikin and Palmer, went for $5,800. Yeah, where the hell? Anyway, auctions, skewed because of the big international auction that was last week. And by the way, don't forget the illustration auction with Sarah Jane is tomorrow. I told people I thought it was the weekend when I was doing the interview with her that I will never get an auction date wrong ever again. It is tomorrow. But the weekend before had what was the total on that international auction? It was $2.8 million for the international auction with a Hergé piece finishing at $200,000 and 2 Mobius pieces both at 100. Well, one at 175 and the other at 137.
I thought that first blueberry would go for more than that, honestly.
Really? I wasn't sure. I mean, it beautiful, stunning.
Oh yeah,
historic. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, 100. You're right. It sounds like a lot of money, but in this market,
it's not.
It probably somebody probably feels it was a steal.
I thought $250,000 at least.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
Well, hey, if I can ever get Olivier back on here, I'll ask him what he thought. But they probably wouldn't say. Maybe he'd say it off camera. I'll let you know what he says. But we got to get him back on the show. I asked he and Joe to try to work out doing a preview, and it just doesn't, because he's in Europe, we couldn't really even get
Right.
something earlier in the day. But I'd like to get him on the show again. It was fun when we had him on. Gosh, it feels like a year ago was the last time we had him on.
Yeah.
But let's see. Other than the 2.8 million from that, the Heritage Weekly did 172 and eBay did 120. So 290 between the two of them. So we'll take a look at the top three from both of those sales. And where are we starting out at? We're starting out with the eBay stuff. So this is a Ross Andrew Dick Giordano Action Comics 530 cover. That and Ashton's got his information wrong. I'm gonna have to kick that kid in the can. How could he do that? That's not, man, my son. This is that's not Bernard Bailey.
That's not Bernard Bailey.
This is Jim Steranko
Yes, it
doing
is.
a Dark Knight piece, and it sold for 2,647. And
That's it?
yeah, believe it or not. And this one was done by Tony D. Terlizzi. This is a Dungeons and Dragons piece from Planescape, sold for 2,938. Now, he's got everything totally backwards. Al Milgram on this one, of course. Mighty World of Marvel. We featured this one last week. It went for $7,200. All them Gators. Now we have Bernard Bailey. This magazine is haunted. Okay, well, look, there you go. 4,320. Same book. Interesting. Okay, now I got to know what the story is here.
Yeah.
Then and then finally, John Bolton, Bizarre Adventures, issue 32. There was a page in this in the previous auction. Went for a little more than this one. This one went for 4,320.
This one's better.
I know, but the other one had that one nice store image.
Yeah.
All right, Ashton doesn't get paid for that video. How do you get him backwards? I sent him the same way every single week. That kid. He was probably, thinking about his girlfriend and well. But yeah, the Steranko was it was just a pinup, and it was listed at $3,300 and sold for the best offer at $2,647.
That blows me away.
Yeah, I mean, we're all also used to seeing Nick Fury pieces. You don't really get opportunities to pick up anything like that too often. All right, you're allowed to do that, Marcus. See, even you can question my process. All right. Where are we go? We're going to the picks now. We can dive into our picks. You said it was an easy week for you.
It was. I breezed this week. It was great.
All right. Well, let's see here.
And I bought something. That's how I was high on life.
Man, I don't know. It wasn't an easy week for me. So I'm glad it was an easy week for you. Let me try to zoom in. There we go. That's
this one's better. A slam dunk.
Yeah, I saw this one. See, you see pieces that I'm gonna pick, and then I see pieces that I know you're gonna pick.
Yeah.
There was no way this was not gonna be a Snork pick today.
We're like the Merton Riggs of picking comic art.
We are.
You're too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and the colors on this thing alone blow my mind.
Super vibrant.
I love the composition too.
Yeah. So in a sneaky way, I think my favorite thing about this is, so the buildings are really static, and obviously you can't do, like, Jack is like flying towards the camera, but the way he adds movement in the piece with the streaking taillights and headlights underneath him on the street, I thought was so clever.
Yeah.
You get that sense of like, okay, he's moving, right? Like these cars are moving underneath him and he's like flying right toward you. And it's really subtle, but it's when you like stop and like look at the whole thing and think about it. Like when you're looking at the art, you would notice it. When you're looking at the cover, probably not so much because you got the trade dress and all that stuff on it. But like as a painting, I think that's part of the reason why this is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I love it. Andrew Robinson. I mean, it's gorgeous. I wish that we had a bigger scan. That's the only thing I lament about looking at this one. But yeah, I love it. And I would have picked it, but I knew it was yours.
Right up my alley.
Now, who's Calf Gallery out here? Opal City's Finest.
Yes, big Starman fan.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave that tab open for later. Then Jim Warden, gentleman Jim Warden. He's been posting a few good pieces here or there. Let me get this highlighted. So Buscema and Alcala. That's an interesting. Well, we've seen it before, but here we get it on a Hulk.
Yeah, That's why I picked it, Alcala over top, because like it's well known. I don't have a ton of love for Sal, but I love what Alcala did to this. And the other thing too is, and this is the dumbest reason, but I love Sasquatch. Sasquatch is seriously, he's probably in my top 10 favorite Marvel characters. And I don't have a great reason for it. Somebody will probably point out that he's huge and orange, and I seem to have a thing with that, but I love Sasquatch. I was really bummed out when Snowbird became Sasquatch and he was white or she was white. That bummed me out. So maybe that is why. But anyway, yeah, I just thought this was such a cool pairing. And I think Alcala really brings like some wildness to what, Sal to me is a little boring.
Yeah, no, I get you. But boy, I'm glad you can admit that, you like large orange characters.
I guess I do. I mean, if I sit here and, psychoanalyze myself, I don't know why that is, but it's clear I do.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other large orange characters are that are out there.
Sasquatch.
Well, after the Thing and Sasquatch, I mean, is there a third? I can't think of a third. But
I can't either.
Oh man, but anyways, I thought it was pretty nice too, and you're right. Alcala makes this page fun. I don't think I'd probably pick up a because I'm not a big Sal fan either, but I don't think I'd pick up a page of Hulk. That Sal did.
Look at the textures on Hulk in that third panel.
Right. I mean, that's all Alcala though. I mean, if that was inked by Al Milgrom, it would be, all the lines would be smooth, and yeah, you'd get a real Sal rendered Hulk there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I totally get it. But yeah, anyways, it is a cool page, and Jim's posted a couple nice pages here or there.
I thought the inscription by John at the bottom was really cool too.
I missed that. Oh,
so John wrote this.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. See now, I mean, you figure they've had a long, they've had a long relationship together. I mean, that's so if anybody could get John Byrne to OAX, it's Jim Warden. Hey, I'll tell you, Jim, if you're out there, I'll pay for your booth if you get John Byrne to come to the show. And one assistant badge too. I'll throw that in. But it'll be out of my pocket. Won't even be on the company.
There you go.
You can write that down. Bill said he would do it.
Yeah. Wow. We have video.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's awesome. Jim's one of my favorite people in the hobby. I mean, he's
very
just
cool guy.
Yeah, and so here, Corbin. I mean, come on, this thing is cool. If you didn't pick it, I would have picked it.
I know, and I actually thought that when I picked it, I was like, I should have let Bill pick that because I know you would have. But
yeah,
I came around to Corbin late, and now when I see his stuff, I just can't get enough of it. But to be honest, when I first, creepy and eerie and all that kind of stuff, I was like, whatever. But he wasn't really showing back then, I feel like, as much as he was capable of. And when he does something like this with all the tones, and I mean, the anatomy is absolutely incredible on this. And then he goes ahead and exaggerates everything anyway, their facial expressions and things like that. And I pick art with horses in it a lot. I know, because it's really hard to draw horses. And when you see somebody nail a horse, I just think that's, incredible. Not to mention the blurring effects.
I was going to say the blurring is so good.
Where he's using white paint to obscure, those outside edges. Just unbelievable technique on this.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And they put that's good. I'm not going to look in close, but yeah, that's just amazing. Absolutely stunning piece. Enhanced nudity, says Marcus. Oh yeah, okay. But yeah, I love it. I would have picked this ahead of you. I'd seen it, put my like on it even early. So that's how, just that when I am browsing CAF, that's one of the ways I go back. Jason's got a good. Have you seen what Jason does when he does his picks? He actually creates a favorites gallery and adds stuff to the favorites, and then pares it down later. I thought that was a good. I'm not that regimental. You can tell he's he's worked in a bank at some point in his life, because he has
I pretty much do the same thing. I put them all in an email, and then I put all the links in the email with the reference, and then I go back through and.
That's why I get the email that's a reply to it when you send me the list.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Now I understand your method.
Yep.
I have no method other than liking.
Method. Yeah.
Yeah, nice tonal work. That's right, Rick Welch.
Yeah.
Razor the Unhero. Never heard of him, but love the art.
Doesn't matter.
And yeah, this was Frito Lay from Switzerland. Very good collection, by the way. Almost well, no, just had their 19th anniversary.
I
It
hope
yeah,
it's Frito Lee and not Frito Lay for
Frito Lee.
Frito's sake.
Frito. We'll have to ask. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe if he tunes in, Fredo, or you let us know if it's
Yeah.
Fredo or Frito. I'm gonna guess it's Fredo. You're right.
Maybe he's an heir to the potato chip fortune. We don't know.
That is quite true. Boy, lifetime supply of chips.
Hmm.
So, that's right, Marcus. All right. Next up, where are we going to from here? Matthew P's Calf Gallery, Dan Mora, Superman 25 cover. Oh, that's cool.
I make no mistake. I love Dan Mora.
Mhm.
This is a double cover, and the first thing I noticed about it was you've basically got like all the good guys are facing this way and all the bad guys are facing that way, including Luthor on the front cover. And like I would love to believe that that's deliberate, because I think if it's deliberate, it's a very cool like design choice in a way.
Hmm.
But I love the composition obviously is so good, but the fact that like his spot blacks I think are amazing on this, and he's using the spot blacks like not only to like knock things to the background, but also to like wedge between the characters to make everything more legible. And on top of all that, it's hyper detailed, like, and it's only hyper detailed in spots where he like seems to feel like it's important. So like overall, it's such a great exercise in like putting a cover together.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot too.
And the fact that it's like a, in addition, it's also on top of everything, it looks like a newspaper. Like he
Mhm.
wanted it to look like it's, pages on the planet. I think it's just overall amazing.
Yeah, it's very well done. I'm just trying to. I had to see how. Well, shoot, gigantic scan. Uh, let's see. Okay. Yeah, because the separation, it was hard to see how they joined it, and then how
Mhm.
it printed. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know who Trent Reznor is in the foreground of the back cover there, but
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little more beefier than Trent, but no, really cool. I mean, the colorists do some the odd choices, right? When they do that, like with the city
yeah,
here, it's okay. It's not terrible, but boy, I like you like the original so much more.
yeah, same.
Go back to that. Yeah, getting to see all that in there, but still, very nice piece. All right, let's see here. Next up, John C. John C's making a lot of comments on CAF these days. Travel Foreman, Spider-Man 2099 cover. A lot of thought went into this cityscape.
Yeah, I think I picked it because of the European comics feel on this is through the roof. And when you see
Mhm.
something that's like, 2099, it's the future, et cetera, et cetera. Like I automatically think Fifth Element, Mobius, like that kind of, it's got all that, but then like you also have like Spidey smack dab in the middle of it. So I like how sparse it is. I like how light it is, while at the same time like having a ton of like line work, detail, that kind of thing in it. But at the same time, it's all really open.
Yeah, no, I like this. It's. I'm thinking back to the Irv Novick piece that I picked earlier, where they just have the funny little chimney pipes and
Yeah.
the build. They and one of the panels even was they really only drew the buildings close. They had like this whole white area that they could have drawn more, and then
Mhm.
you contrast that with this piece where it's just like, I want to draw as many details and as many building shapes as I can possibly cram into
Yeah.
this one
All
image.
with their
I love
distinct
it.
architectural style.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really nice. Well, John C, you got a good one here.
Plus, I don't think we've really talked about Travel Foreman before.
I don't think so. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, have we? Yeah, we have. I don't believe we have. Well, that's very nice. You get any comments over here? Oh yeah, he's got 13 comments on this one. Good. Was Marcus first? Nope. Was he second? Nope. Mickey. Man, I don't know. John. Well, okay. Where? There he is.
There we go.
Foreman drew this about 80 years too early. Those time travelers will come back and see what we thought about them. They will prove us wrong by adding some Taco Bells in the future. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you write that, Marcus?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bells. All right. Well, very cool piece. I like that a lot as well. Next up, Matthew Rolt. Oh man, it looks like he used the Ghibli filter on himself.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a faux
Roll
pas.
up.
Not, we
Roll up.
don't. Yeah, you're in France too. Come on, man. Respect the arts. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Now this is oh, okay. Yeah, I remember seeing this pic. So, tell me about this one because I'm not familiar at all with
I
this
picked
area.
one other piece of Cobra art in the
You
past.
did.
Like I'm fond of Cobra. This is nostalgic for me. We never see this stuff pop up. Like once in a blue moon, something from a cool manga will pop up. We see some manga stuff, but not like, this is important work. So yeah, if nothing else, picking it to highlight it because I love this stuff, but just seeing manga on CAF is awesome.
I cannot disagree with you at all. I'd love to see more.
And with the word balloons intact, and this is old.
Right. I'm assuming. What's is it intentional? This discoloring around the edges?
No, I think it's toning on the paper.
Well, that's what it looks like. It's just kind of in in odd spots, right?
Or maybe printed it with some kind of an effect. Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah. Well, that's but still, it's cool to have on CAF, like you said, and we definitely could use a lot more.
Yeah, and check out Cobra.
I'm gonna write it down.
He smokes cigars. He's got a gun for a hand. He's a beast.
He's got a gun for a hand. Well, yeah. Remember, you gotta come to OAX so you can teach me how to smoke a cigar because I have no clue. No idea.
Will happen. I told you before. I bought half a box. I bought a $400 box of cigars to bring to OAX, and then I got.
But how many are left? You've been working your way through them.
I've got one left.
Okay.
I'll be, and that's a lot. That's not a lot because we have had rotten weather here this spring for the most part. So,
well, all right, Cobra. I will look it up. I will try to add it to my list of things to read. So, Segovia and Paul P's CAF Gallery. I would have picked this one too.
Yeah,
I thought it was freaking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Everything on here, just the way he's handled Flash. I love these. I don't really get the way he's handling the anatomy. I know he's letting the energy and the electricity kind of define some of that, but everything about this piece, all the harsh angles, I just think I thought it was fantastic.
Absolutely. And like he's so adept with his tonal stuff, and then to throw in like all these whites, is like incredibly effective because look at how stark that those lightning bolts are, and like where it's hitting his knee, his wrists, his knuckles. Like it just makes everything else fall to the background. The whites absolutely pop. I feel like you actually notice the midtones and like the blue tones more because of the whites. But I think more than anything, like look at like Flash's facial expression. He looks like he's about to do something super fun, and like that's kind of what I associate with the Flash. Yeah, there's seriousness and maudlin moments and people die and like all that kind of stuff, and the Flash legacy is kind of a tragic thing, but like he tonally for me is more of an upbeat character, and like I really see that in that facial expression. And this feels digital to me, and it's not, because we've seen him do this, but like that background, how's the background not digital?
Right. Yeah, it's too clean. How do you get that?
Is so even.
Right. Yeah, look, I didn't actually zoom into it before, but I love seeing the tonal pencil work here, and then cross hatching sparingly, but it's there. Yeah, he's using different techniques to perfection here that really, man, yeah, this thing it's gorgeous. Yeah,
I mean, he's in a league of his own, I think, with this stuff.
yeah. Wow. Well, that's that one was a good one. Paul P. Just adding to his wonderful collection. He's not staying in his Spider-Man lane though. Right here. Then this one, John Bamber. I actually first saw this one on, I think he posted it socially somewhere, but I love Weston. Weston's one of my, I just love his attention to detail. I mean, everything that, if I could, I'd own every Chris Weston piece that he puts out there because they're just all solid. I do. I don't care what he's drawn. I mean, I love this image. He could be drawing Judge Dredd, some obscure 2000 AD something, some weird, Gunsmoky cowboy something that he'll post on Facebook. I love it all. I mean, he's just, there's something about his style that is, it reminds me a lot of, anything related to like 2000 AD, but then I see a little Brian Bolland in him, and I see a lot of, but there's just something about him. And having met him a couple times, he's just a fun, lighthearted guy, and who just draws so damn well.
So to me, when I see Weston on a superhero book, it feels a little off to me. He has an edge of like, it's too real. His drafting style, his everything is like, look at how rendered this is, right? Like there is nothing in this image that is not like drawn to the nth degree, right? Even like the fronds on the, the plants in the background, like look at the tie that's holding the curtain back. I mean, like the pillows, everything on this is rendered to the absolute like end of the earth. And sometimes I feel like when you see him draw superheroes, it's like, ugh, that looks like a pervert in a suit, because it's so real. And that typically turns me off. But like, one, Batman is kind of like in the background of this. Two, he's in his like gaslight costume, which should look more antique-y, crude, weird, whatever. And that to me is why I feel like this works so well, is because I don't have that like creepy, like, why does Superman look like he's wearing a union suit with like curtains on his back? You know what I mean? So I love Weston's work. I respect the hell out of his ability, but on a superhero book, like it takes me out of it. Invisibles, something like that, like way more up my alley, and like, incredible work for Weston. This has that, plus there happens to be a superhero in it.
Cool. No, I like that assessment. And Marcus says his worst stuff is better. I know his worst stuff is great. I remember he did like a rock
Garth Ennis book, those Garth Ennis books. That
yeah, exactly. No, I mean, Chris is
You're right, James. It's very normal.
Right, exactly. Yeah, he's not blinking at all. I mean, that's anyway, but I love Chris's stuff. He'd probably I don't know.
Get him to OAX.
Yeah. Anyway, great. That was a good pick. And then look at that. Look at the bat pattern up there.
Right?
Come on.
Like I said, this whole thing is absolutely poured over.
It's a bat flying with a skull in its hand. I mean, it's just I love it. It's just too good. Man, Weston's awesome. Yeah. Sorry, I want to look at where we're going. Let's see here.
This is my last one, I think.
I was going to say, is this your last one? I'm trying to remember. No, you had one more. You took the Alex Ross that I used too.
Oh, okay. So this one, quick, this is pure nostalgia pick. This is one of my very favorite Silver Age comics. Whenever the JSA would cross over with the JLA, like that was a huge kick for me. Got me into the Golden Age characters and like all that kind of stuff. This, as a page, to be honest, like doesn't do a whole ton for me. It's here for, I picked it for nostalgia and honestly for historical presence, because this is a super, super important book in the grand scheme of things for DC and kind of like historical purposes. But I never really got I don't think Sachs was great over Sikorsky. I don't know.
I don't know. I like this one. I didn't see it when I was
There's
going
certainly
through
nothing
it.
wrong with it, but like if it were a different inker over Sikorsky, it probably would have been a better looking page.
Whose calf are we in here? Anthony Fox. I don't think I've ever been
But
in
it's
there.
just
Calf
like
dog.
whenever I see one of these things, I'm just like blown away.
Mhm.
I mean, look at how good that page still looks.
Yeah, what year is this?
61?
60, oh, well, or 63, I guess.
63.
No, you're right. It's, no, it's 63, 63.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's beauty.
Yeah.
Not enough chimney? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's let me get my like on that. I already did get my like on that one. Okay. Last one for you, Chris, and it's the Alex Ross Absolute Kingdom Come piece. And who's Kafka? Oh, Joshua Tan. I mean, come on, Joshua's got
Yeah.
great taste, and I bet this thing looks freaking unbelievable on the wall.
I love to see. I actually love to see the framed image, because if this thing wasn't in a frame on somebody's wall, it would be a crime against the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many cool things happening in this image. Probably my favorite thing is Wonder Woman's pose. She's actually like contraposed to like every other character on the image, who's like flying toward you. Wonder Woman is like diving down feet first, which I think is such a cool choice on his part. But Kingdom Come was like watershed for me. I absolutely love this book. I think Superman's design in Kingdom Come is actually better than his standard DC publication design. So many of these designs, like, people probably have been through the Absolute and all that kind of stuff, and to see how much thought and Alex Ross put into like the redesigns for the updated designs, whatever you want to say, for all of these characters, like, it was a labor of love for him. I think it really comes across in all of these images. Superman's like super intense stare coming at you like this, his role basically like splitting the cover but like holding the two halves of it together top to bottom is a perfect design choice. It's just and it's Alex Ross.
Yeah, no, I was smitten by this image when I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's got to be the show image for tonight, because yeah, it's just so darn good. And after seeing, that piece that Potic had on his wall when we did the Heritage recap and stuff, I mean, it just reminds you how brilliant Ross is. And yeah, I thought this was stunning, absolutely stunning. He does, yeah, okay, all right. He's gonna take some bed, yeah. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I wish I could zoom back a little bit easier in this thing. Probably can't do it here, can I? No, it's gonna go there. I guess it worked. Anyway, I think it's fabulous, and I'm sure Joshua is very, very happy to display this. And again, we've talked before. There's a certain piece of art you can hang on your wall, and you can talk about it with any guests that walk in your home. Something like this, people are going to see it. They're going to appreciate it. It's like a Rockwell on the wall.
Right?
You can talk about it with anybody, even your mom. You come in and you can have a conversation with her about it.
Honestly, my mom would probably be like, "You have an Alex Ross?" She's been around too many comic nerds for too long.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, those were all very good picks. So where do I go from there? Mark V, I love Mark's collection. It's very eclectic, very kind of indie bent. Here's a Jaime Hernandez piece that's just fun. The more I look at it, the more I just see different things I like about it. Just in the way he handles the flat patterns on the clothes, to this pattern on the checker pattern with the letters in it. There's probably something there that I should be reading, and I didn't before I came in here. But
that never occurred to me. I bet
I
you're
see
right.
it like comic has nothing to do with gosh, I can't. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read through it now, because now it's like a crossword puzzle up there now.
It's a
Anyway,
find a word.
right. And I just, when I saw this one, I just really liked it a lot. I mean, the finger in the nose. I mean, it's too good. And I've been looking for a Jaime Hernandez page forever, and it just doesn't. I don't know. I haven't found the right one yet, but I should check out Albert's site. I know he's always got Jaime artwork floating around. Uh, let's see here. And I get my like on that one. Then where would I go from here? The Alpha Flight. That's right. Phil
Oh,
Jimenez. I like
love this.
Jimenez. Yeah, you too, right? Phil's, everybody was always like he's like Perez early on and everything, but I love as
Like
he's
that's a bad thing.
like it's a bad thing, you're right? But I mean, I feel like he progressed to where his details were finer, like we
Hmm.
see here in this piece. Yeah, that's a good scan. I mean, it's just a totally different. It's Phil's work now
Look at
when you
those
see it.
faces.
I know that I was so happy when he did like a couple fill-in issues with Grant Morrison, back in the day.
Hmm.
I picked up a couple pages from him that I don't have any longer. But either
We
way,
got
I mean, look at that.
Sasquatch picks tonight.
I was gonna say that's
A
a pretty
record.
good Sasquatch image right there.
Yeah.
Sasquatch sightings, says Marcus. Stingray pick. Yep. Bootlegging tells me I should check out. That's true. I should check out scotteater.com. Scott Eater did a pretty big art drop, I think, yesterday. So, and I didn't check it out, so that gives me a reason to go over to Scott's site after the show today. A little bit like Neil Adams, yeah, you could say that too. I mean, I guess
I so love Alpha Flight's costumes. Like their original character designs are like they're way up here. Vindicator or Guardian, especially. Puck, his costume is brilliant. Aurora and North Star like mirroring each other. Like they were just perfect character designs.
agreed. Yeah, I loved when the Alpha Flight book came out. I mean, I was very happy, and in part, and you don't think about it all the time, but you're right. Things like simple things like costume designs make such a big difference.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of the same reason when I picked up, Legion when Giffen was drawing it. The costumes were cool. I didn't need to know a lot about it to get into it, and the art was great. So same thing with Alpha Flight. But I love this image a lot. And Abby said Byrne did great covers for Alpha Flight.
That's
Sure,
Chuck.
yeah, so true.
That's Chuck Arnold.
Is that
Yeah.
is that Chuck portraying
His
himself
daughter's
as
name is
Abby?
Abby. She changed his screen name.
Abby, and and it's pink now.
Yeah.
Chuck
and I were arguing about Mike Zeck's contributions versus John Byrne's contributions to comics today.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We weren't arguing. We were discussing.
It was a debate.
Ish.
So here we go. An X-Men 104 page, first course there. I just love it. I could say it's nostalgic, but I mean, I love this. I love the details in this thing, man. Sam Granger Inc.'s not so bad either on this. It's an end page. What more do you right. I mean, Lilandra, you've got the professor, Jean's family, come on. I mean, this page kind of has it all. And again, just packed. There's
I actually
no
like
space.
Starjammers more than I like the X-Men for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not an X fan, but like the Starjammers for me, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I can get into these guys. Space pirates. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I did enjoy the Starjammers a lot. Of course, storyline was fun. And
Raza
of course.
Orange.
Yeah. All right. You got me. But the X-Men were still better. But I understand it. If they were your bridge to picking up an X-Men book, nothing wrong with that. But again, I look at this. I love it. I'd kill for pages. I own as many of these as I could get because they're just so fun. And the more I look at it, it's like there's no space for anything. How do they even manage to figure out how to fit in the lettering on this thing? Because
that's a lot of panels.
It is. It's a lot of panels and it's a lot of art and it's lovely. Phil loved the Corsair abandoned insane. A man's got to follow his dreams sometimes, Marcus.
His dreams of banging aliens and robbing ships.
Exactly. Oh man. And who? Oh, it's Ted Lantner's calf gallery. Congrats, Ted. I think this is phenomenal. I don't 20 of them.
Ted in a while.
No, me either. Then we have the answer to the question who got the absolute all-star Superman cover. It was Nick Patera. Yep. So scan's not great. Nick, I got to give Nick like an honorary like premium membership or something so we can get some bigger scans. But there you go. Nick, congratulations. You know how much he loves Quitely's work. And God only knows what this thing will be worth in 10 or 15 years. So
It's beautiful.
you know, it's got to be, it's when art finds the owner that deserves to have it, life is good. So congrats to Nick for that. That is awesome. Isn't it iconic? It is.
Don't you
Yeah.
think? A little too iconic?
Mm. So next, where are we going to? I got 6 more pieces here. Alex Saviuk. It's Alex Saviuk. He's going to be at OAX. Everybody, this is a pre-OAX sighting. Rob Stahl and Romita Senior listed as the inkers on this one. So
Rob
Spidey,
Stahl, who I think passed away.
did I felt like I read that somewhere too.
Yeah.
I hope that we're not like making that up tonight. But yeah. So I've always liked, Alex on Spider-Man. I mean, come on. He drew a great Spider-Man, very classic image. And I just like this cover a lot. And I love that it's busy. I love the weird the differences in the line weights from the characters to the background.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It made me smile. And then I saw it was Alex, and I'm like, oh, I can tell everybody Alex is going to be, he's a Florida resident nearby, and so he'll be at, he's our Florida get. Last time it was Broderick. The time before that, it was, why am I having a brain fart on Sex Inker? Help me, Chris, help me.
I
somebody in
don't
the
know
chat.
who lives in Florida. That's your job, buddy.
I know. Why am I having I knew I should have had some Zevia beforehand.
You're the
but,
Floridian.
I am. It'll come to me. Not Palmiotti inking. Although
I mean,
Beatty. Thank you.
okay.
It's Beatty. So we had Beatty, then we had Miss. Yeah. Anyway, I'm moving on before I screw anything up. Aaron
What a
Connolly.
great inker.
Aaron is in. You're right. Aaron's in Winter Springs, I think. He's nearby.
It's a fun cover, and I always like the books that are based on the cartoons, because you get to see more of this kind of stuff.
Right.
The line weights, sometimes the character designs are a little more simplified. Things aren't grim and gritty looking. Like, you just get a little like Silver Agey kind of, Bruce Timmey, like that kind of stuff. And like, that's clearly what's going on here. And I think it looks nice.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I didn't check the calf gallery. I wrote a lot. Look at, they put a little animation in there. What?
Ooh,
man, that's a new feature.
Up in the calf game.
Shoot, we got to add that feature to the app or something. My goodness, look at that. So Chris C, boy, showing off his skills. That's awesome. That's going to give us some ideas. Next step, where are we going to? Michael Golden, the guy who was shouting at John Byrne a few stories ago, and Mike DiCarlo.
I missed this.
I came across this one today, so I was like, oh, that's a good one to add. I mean, what is this from? Batman Special 1. Come on, it's Golden. At the end of the day, I just thought it was fun. Composition's fun, and it's Golden doing Batman.
Great.
Yeah, that is nice. Didn't you pick a piece of art with a sniper rifle on it?
Probably.
Not too long ago. But yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
There's non-pervy Batman. Wow. Anyway, I thought this was a good page, and I like the Zipatone on that first panel. I like
subtle stuff on the last panel too, with Batman's silhouette.
Look at that. Tom McDonald says one of the best single Batman comics ever. Okay, well, that says a lot then. That's it. I liked it for the art. I don't know the stories, but cool. No, this is a good one. So congrats. Is it really Simon? Simon. Wow. Simon's a man. Very diverse tastes, and he never gets average art. What's up with that guy?
Yeah.
Let's get an average page sometime, man. Don't get all the ones that are like from the greatest single Batman comic ever. I mean,
get one from an average Batman comic.
Yep. Go after some Novik and Giordano. They're good.
There you go.
But they're not the best story.
Even Aparo, he did a lot.
He did. That is true. Legion of Superheroes. There was when I saw this one, I don't know why, but I liked it. I just like this. It's just a weird page that, and then I looked at it and it's like, oh, it's Jurgens too. And
Maybe you're a Polar Boy fan and you don't realize it yet.
yeah, that might be it. That might be it. But either way, it's DeCarlo inks on this one too.
Hey,
Strange.
back to back to Carlos.
Huh.
Two
Well, maybe I picked
Sasquatch,
it
two to
right.
Carlo.
But yeah, Jurgens is coming back to OAX in year 3. So he's very happy. He was there at year 1. Bill Byers will be very happy. So yeah, look at I think it was the pairs that did it on this one. I don't know. Either way, I like the page. I don't know. Give me, it's like I always like the quiet moments in the X-Men, when they're at the mansion or whatever. So maybe there's a Legion of Superhero tie here.
Dawnstar, I'm not positive, might be a Cockrum design.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the costume is very, very Dave Cockrum for sure. PG-13 Carl will be happy to see Jurgens again too. Okay. 3 more here to go, and this is a Philip Tan piece, Wolverine. I thought this was good. I do too. And when I saw it, it kind of reminded me of like Silvestri, period stuff from the 90s. But I love Philip Tan stuff. But just seeing Sinister and Wolvie and Sabretooth together, and I love the cross hatching on this. And yeah, I thought it was just a great cover.
Sinister are really well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's got some kind of like Jay Lee action there in the background too. Those like the streamers that are coming off of Sinister's cape.
Yeah, that's true.
Those pointy angles and
there was it was a Jay Lee piece. I don't know if it was posted. I think it was posted on CAF. I don't think it was a Heritage pick that I passed up, but it was really nice. And it was like all the characters on the page were almost all in silhouette with this. Does that sound familiar to you at all? I'll have to dig it up. I'll send a link to it. It was really cool, but this was like, we've talked about Jay Lee around here,
sure.
So I didn't pick it, but I'll have to dig around. Namor, yeah, I think it was. You're right. It was a Namor.
Yep.
So it must have been on CAF then. Either way, the pieces we don't pick, but stick with us afterwards.
Yeah.
Then this is in Stephen Davich's CAF gallery. This is a Ninja Turtle piece, and I mean, on the surface it looks, okay, kind of okay. And then I was like, why did he put these colors in here? Why would the artist do that? And I read Steve's description, and he kind of asked the same question. I don't know why he adds color to these pieces, but when as a purchasing decision, it added, kind of just enough to be like, I'm going to get one. And he said he was following this artist for a few years. Finally, they worked on a book that he was interested in, and then the colors added this little extra, and I kind of like it. I mean, they're small and silhouette in those last 2 panels, and it's like they don't even look like turtles at all practically. But I don't know, there's something fun. Yeah, Dan Goodwin says it's great. There's some interesting stuff going on here. That's
I like it too, and honestly, those last 2 panels to like pull that far back and be able to get like, okay, you got to get all 4 turtles in there. They're all, you got to show them they're all jumping like from rooftop to rooftop, but they don't make it. They all fall, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of the only way to do it, is to like get the camera way back and to like get across what he's trying to get across. He does it really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, because you could be zoomed in with their faces screaming and whatever, right, and you miss all of that.
And he's fairly consistent. Like there aren't, to your point, there isn't like all of a sudden, oh, it's a close up,
Right. Yeah, Black Viper said creates more separation, and Marcus even said that's John Wick stuff. Yeah.
Falling into a dumpster, and John Wick doesn't have a shell though.
No, he does not. But well, cool piece. Stephen Davich, I always think of Stephen as like the late 70s, early 80s art that he collects, and then you see a piece like this. It's always, I don't know, it's always kind of cool to see people collect things that aren't like their normal in their normal wheelhouse that we kind of just associate people with.
Definitely.
And who was the artist? Juan Ferreira. Have we mentioned? I feel like I've seen that name before. Maybe
I think so, at least once.
Okay. Oh, Court. Okay, so he's rep by Comic Con art. Okay, for Court. Cool. All right, what do I have for my last pick here? Oh, this was in Mikhail's calf gallery. I think he actually had a couple of these Riley Rossmo pieces.
I think he
Maybe
might have this whole story.
does he have the whole story? Okay, well I know I've seen a couple. I didn't realize he had the whole story. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I just love the composition on this page. I love the it looks like I'm assuming that's probably like printed on board some of the rough layout, that purple, and
Mhm.
then the blue looks penciled in. I mean, it just looks like a really uh well thought out piece of art, and then it's so kind of busy but loose all at the same time, which I guess we
Right.
kind of equate with Rossmo anyway. But I love this piece, and I know I'd looked at another piece, so I didn't know he had the whole book, but I saw another piece in his calf, but this one just stood out. I mean, I love it's just the cacophony of action on this
Yeah.
page, and these creatures
I
are
love his
crazy looking.
line quality so much.
Mm-hmm.
And
Look at
like
that.
Green Lantern is a character who, like, for me, clean, like his costume is like very it's pretty simple, honestly. So
Mm-hmm.
when you see somebody like Riley do something like that, on that character, and then you get the opposite end of it, which is this, like, whatever these creatures are that are attacking Jason Blood, you get a bit of both. Like, he gets the exercise kind of like left brain and right brain, right? Because you've got Hal, who's very like straight up and down, clean costume. And then you've got Etrigan, or I guess he's Jason on this page, but Etrigan is this, star of the show. And he's much wilder looking. He's got the big cape, he's got the horns, and sometimes he's got like fire coming out of his mouth or whatever. And then these creatures, that's just a really, like, gotta be a fun thing for a person like Riley to draw.
Yeah, no, and the one thing I just was hit with is the word balloons. I'm assuming Mikhail probably did that himself. I mean, I think he's done that in the past, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if he mentions that here. The main image has word balloons that he's added digitally. All right,
Oh,
because
okay.
I know that he's done his own layovers before, where
Yeah.
he's done his own stats for logos and sometimes word balloons. That's cool. I mean, because I'm looking at it and it just shocked me all of a sudden. I'm like, I'm looking at word balloons on a modern piece of art. What's
Right.
wrong with that? That shouldn't be. Anyway, Mikhail, that's awesome. And if you got the whole book, even better. I had no idea. I just saw two pieces this week that caught my eye. So yeah, this is wonderful. Congratulations. Get my like on that one there too. All right. And we can take this out of here. Hey, do you know you're on the app beta list and you haven't downloaded it? Do you get emails about that, or have you
I
not?
downloaded it. I actually I still have test flight. I just haven't had time to test.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it doesn't say that you downloaded it until you log in or something like that.
Yeah, I
Maybe
downloaded it. I don't
because it was
know.
like
The app came
Tuesday or
out.
Wednesday. Yeah. All right. I was just wondering. I wanted to make sure, like somehow maybe it wasn't
Nope.
notifying you.
All good.
Okay. Awesome.
I've
Okay.
been doing a lot of IT testing at work this week, so
I get it. You don't want to take your work home with you too.
no, I do not.
All right. Well, Chris, as you know, always fun. Congrats on that artwork, man. That
Thanks.
DPS is killer.
I'm psyched. I'll be posting them to CAF, and I'm gonna put the Springer up on my birthday, since it was a gift.
Awesome.
Not a gift I bought myself.
I'm glad. Yeah, there was no way that was going to go in. Even if somebody came in and said, "I want that page," because there were like, other than Derek kind of it loves that kind of stuff too, but there was actually like two or three other people who were interested in the Hitch early Transformers stuff, and they were asking specifically about those issues. So yeah, but I was like,
Even better
early on, I'm like, I'm just going to set that one aside before somebody says that's
awesome.
they say the Springer is their favorite character.
I remember when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, Springer!"
You literally did say that. That's why I was like, all right, we'll figure something out for that later on. But all right, man. Well, as always, it's tons of fun getting to hang out, and we got done early tonight. Look at that, real early, as a matter of fact. So
no harm in
cool.
that.
Not at all. Well, you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you again next week.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right. No, not that Springer. Stingray, Jerry. You can watch them on the reruns on YouTube anytime you want. But yeah, so things are happening around here. You know, we've got a lot of busy stuff going on, and the fun thing is just having OAX announced and kind of out there, kind of it's a weight off of us here because now we can really start to have some fun with thinking about the remaining guests and start thinking about the programming and things that we want to have there. And there's going to be plenty of big announcements surrounding that. But the focus now is on Comic Art Live, though. Anybody has any questions with that, let me know. But please, if you know an artist out there who's looking for another avenue to sell their artwork, encourage them to give CAF a try. Do it. I mean, there's it's we've got that hall A for the comic book artists, the indie artists hall too, and we really would like to raise the participation level of artists working with us through CAF. So Comic Art Live is a good gateway, first thing for them to experiment with. So send them our way, give them my email, happy to talk to them. And after that, I got nothing else for you tonight. But remember, we have Joe Phillips is going to be with me on Saturday, 2:00. And after that, what do I got? I got I got Jimmy Palmiotti the following Tuesday. So keep all that in mind. And why did he? I can't answer that question, Marcus. But everybody, have a wonderful evening, and I will see you again on Saturday afternoon. It's always fun getting to hang out. We'll see you.